This video is going to be so exciting because today I'm going to share with you my top favorite standalone books. That means my favorite standalone books. I don't know why I keep saying it twice, just I really love them. Let's just get started right away. The first book I'm going to show you is one of my absolute favorite books of my life. I have reread it several times. I can't stop loving it. It's just my kind of book. And that is The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. This one was published back in 1973, if I'm not mistaken. And it's just still so relevant and so interesting now that we are in the 21st century. It's about a boy named Holden Caulfield who has trouble growing up. Basically, that's the main theme of the book. And he finds himself left alone in New York for a couple of days, and he enjoys those days, and we just follow him around. He is a kind of pessimistic character. No, not kind of. He is a pessimistic character, and that's what I love about him. I think he's so brilliant. He is the incarnation of a true teenager, and I just love it. This is one of the books that I make my students read because I'm that kind of teacher. I make my students read. I'm so awful, I know. Next is a book that I read very recently, so it's kind of surprising that it made it to my favorite books of my list. That doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? And that is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. This book has such an amazing writing style and so complex characters that I just still can't fathom it. It's amazing. You have to read it. It's a thriller, it's a crime story, and I normally don't like crime stories, but I loved this book. My lenses are bugging me, so I'm sorry if I am blinking at you, winking my eyes at you. I'm just having troubles. Next on my list is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. I don't know how to characterize this book. It is a coming-of-age story. I think that's what you say. It is written as a diary, and the main character is called Charlie. And normally I don't like that type of writing style because I like for my books to just be written like a normal narrative. But I love this book. This was amazing and brilliant and all those kind of adjectives. Charlie starts high school, and of course he has some problems. And we hear about those problems through his diary entries, and it's all so interesting. I highly recommend this book and also the movie if you're interested to watch that one. Next is a book that I wasn't sure if I was going to put it on this list or not because I have only read it once. It was several years ago, and yeah, I don't know, but I remember that I loved it, and that is Freedom by Jonathan Franzen. This is an adult novel about, I think it's one family, or maybe it's several families. As I said, it's been some years since I read it, but it's just so interesting. I love reading about family dynamics and troubles that you can have in families, and this book was written in a very interesting manner. I need to reread it soon because now I finally own it. I read it as an e-book back in the days, and then I found it for cheap here in Denmark, so I'm going to read it again. Here comes the book that still makes me tear up a little bit when I think about it, but I'm trying to control myself, and that is Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. I cannot tell you how much I love this book. It needs to be shown and felt. This is a book about emotions, basically, and if you like reading those kinds of books, then read it. It has so many surprises, so many unexpected twists, and it has the most heartfelt love story that I have ever read about. So please do yourself a favor and pick it up. I even made my mother read this book, and she was like, I need to read more by this Colleen Hoover. What can I read? What can I read? So she definitely loved it as well. And she is like twice my age, a little bit more. So it definitely appeals to a lot of different age groups. Next I have Crash and Burn by Michael Hassan. And this is basically The Catcher in the Rye written as a modern story, because we have the same kind of main character who is very pessimistic, and I just love those kind of main characters, but the story is completely different from The Catcher in the Rye. This is about a school shooting that took place at a high school in America, And then we hear about what happened prior to that school shooting, because we follow the shooter and his best friend and their relationship. And yeah, it doesn't sound that brilliant when I tell you about it, but it is, trust me. It made it to my favorites list, so it must be brilliant, right? Then I have a middle-aged book. Is that what you say? A book for middle-aged children. Yeah. And that is Wonder by R.J. Palacio. This is about a main character who is... what is the word? He has some facial deformations, is that what you call it? So he doesn't look like other children. And that, of course, creates some serious problems for him in his life. In this book, his mother wants for him to attend a public school instead of attending homeschooling. And he doesn't really want to. He feels very much afraid to do that, but he does it. And then we follow him in this adventure, and that's all I'm going to say. A very touching and endearing story, a lovable main character, and a great book. Next I have Fangirl by Rowell. I know, no favorites list without this book. I don't know if I need to explain to you why I love this book, because it's obvious. If you have read it, you know why. If you haven't, then what are you doing? You need to read it. And should I say what it's about? I don't want to, because you need to just read it. Just read it, trust me. Last but not least on my list is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This beautiful black page book that is both amazing inside as well as outside. This is about a night circus that only plays during night, and that alone is very original, very refreshing to read about. And then we also follow two main characters who are part of the circus, and then, yeah, kind of part of the circus, and then not. This is about mystery and magic, and it is magic, and I highly, highly recommend it. I actually did a video review of this book back in the day, so if you're interested, you can go watch that, link below. So, trust me, read these books. Do yourself a favor. If you read these books, you are not going to regret it. I promise you, they are amazing, amazing. It feels so nice to just stand with them right here and look at them, because I know they are brilliant. Brilliant pieces of work. That is all for my video today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you are going to eventually pick up some of the books that I have talked about, because I love it when I'm able to inspire people to read some books that they wouldn't normally have read. Thank you so much for watching. Happy reading, everyone, and bye bye.